Hey, welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddart, and so excited to be here today with a friend of mine, someone who I admire, and I think everyone in the Portland area real estate industry admires this lady. And for those of you that are outside the industry, let me give a little background on Debi Laue and the treat that we have today. For me, first of all, to have her here in studio. Thanks for being here, Debi.
You're welcome.
I know video is your favorite thing in the world.
Right.
So this is really exciting for her to be able to impart her knowledge. Anyway, so background on her. Been in the business, Debi, for 42 years.
Almost.
Can you believe that? 42 years. And her team is still one of the very highest producers in the entire city. Just a phenomenal amount of production that they do. And I think even more impressive than that isn't the numbers, but the people, the way you guys go about doing business.
Can I clarify it's not my team anymore?
Yes, please.
Misunderstood proposition. Rick and Keisha Brainerd bought out our team January 1st, 2017. So what they've built from that point on is what we're doing now.
Okay, very cool. Great distinction. So Debi laid the groundwork for what Rick and Keisha are now building, which is something phenomenal. And anyway, I'm excited to spend a little time here with Debi and really try to extract from her how she built what she built that was really set the stage for what the Laue team is doing now, which is really exciting. Super cool. Let's see, any other bio points on Debi? I'm sure if anybody pops in here and wants to ask any questions to Debi, feel free to bring that up. But I know we've kind of pre-discussed a couple different topics. So one of the things that I'd love to hear, Debi, is if you were right now able to go back and talk to Debi Laue that was just getting into the business. Mm-hmm. Now, were you married to Bob at the time that you guys got in the business?
No.
Okay, so this was pre-marriage. You've been married to real estate longer than you've been married to Bob.
That is true. That is true. Scary thought.
So if you were to go back and give advice to that person that's maybe a year in the business, like maybe they kind of get what real estate is, but they haven't obviously built the career that you have, what advice would you give to yourself?
So my first managing broker was Lee Davies' mother, Dorothy.
Lee Davies' mother. Okay.
Lee Davies' mother.
Wow.
Dorothy.
Small circles.
And the best advice she gave me a lot of advice, but the best advice was surround yourself by positive people. And I understood very quickly why she told me that, because in that era and continuing on, there's always office drama. And if you just avoid that, then you'll have a lot of time to spend with your family and your clients, which is what you should concentrate on.
Interesting.
And going forward from that, consistency has been the number one thing I would share with people. There's a quote out there by some entrepreneurial book writing speaker. Can't remember his name, Darren Hardy, I think, but he says consistency. You know him. Mm-hmm. Consistency is the one thing that achieves and continues momentum. So in this business, if you're not continuing momentum, then you're stopped dead. It's called filling your pipeline, whatever you want to call it. Consistency is the number one target to achieve.
And some of the ways almost that I'm hearing you say that people aren't consistent is they get caught up in stuff that doesn't matter, right? You've got your clients, got the growth of your business, then you've got, like you said, this office drama, stuff that's maybe not,
or other stuff,
right? Life drama.
You can't avoid life, but if you can focus on the things that are productive, then that will help you be successful. So
that consistency, I know that is a big challenge for any of us that are entrepreneurial, right? We see shiny new ideas all the time. What is that? What is the consistency? How have you found to be most consistent? Is it certain by just having a calendar, having a planning session? I mean, what does that look like for you? Or do you just have the discipline to be able to do it?
Well, so this goes back to Bob. So Bob was a corporate guy. You know, he came out of the corporate world, which most realtors didn't back in the day. And he put systems together that kept us consistent. So in other words, we had a CRM since 1983.
Wow, that was pre-CRM, wasn't it?
I bought my first computer, which was this big and cost $5,000, but I had no idea how to use it until Bob came along. And he figured out a mail merge system where he put all of his clients into the system. And we started sending out these anniversary letters. Congratulations. This is the 7th year since you bought or sold a home with us. We hope you're doing well, et cetera. And always asking for business, of course. But that was our first attempt at being consistent.
Wow.
And then you move forward with client events and just staying in touch with pop buys, which our team now does because we have this lovely person named Melissa Nichols who sets that all up for us.
I know Melissa Nichols.
And so she's made it really easy for us to achieve that consistency on a whole new level.
In fact, it's funny. I saw Melissa and Justin Nichols in a team picture and I was like, when did they join the Laue team? Now I know the role. Very cool. Good quality people. You guys have just done such a good job. Like everybody that joins the Laue team, I'm like, oh my goodness, just another amazing person, you know?
Well, you can hand that to Rick and Keisha. They have built the business in the last 2 years in a very special way. So we have 4 producing agents and 4 support people, which is a pretty amazing sort of ratio of support to producing brokers.
Wow. Yeah, you don't typically see that, right? You
No,
see
you don't.
very few support people or fewer support people and lots of agents. So what has that allowed you guys to do by having almost like a one-to-one support to producing agent? It allows you to do the stuff you're talking about.
It allows us to spend our time with our clients, which is exactly where we need to be.
Wow. Lots of profound wisdom there. Is whether it looks like people or whether it looks like or systems or tools, but whatever you can do to reinvest time back into your clients is key.
Right. So we have a gentleman in our Lake Oswego office that I don't know if he has a CRM now, but for years he didn't, except he had his phone, which was his brand new form of Rolodex. And he said he would, we had 10 minutes before a meeting, he would just go through and look at people's names and he would call somebody. It was that simple. Who have I not talked to recently? Pick up the phone and call them. So in this era, when people are phone adverse, maybe you go back to something as simple as picking up the phone and calling somebody you haven't talked to in a couple of weeks or a month or a year.
Yeah. Well, I think I do think that technology has taken an interesting turn, and a lot of people use technology to be the contact with people, right? It almost takes the place of contact with people. And what I hear you saying is that technology should empower people, or it should empower you to spend more time with people, not less time with people. Right.
Our mantra has always been high tech, high touch. You have to have both because you get left behind if you don't have the high tech piece. But people want to hear from you. And they want it to be personal.
Well, and again, the tech should allow you to be freed up to where you can spend more time with people, right? As opposed to, I see a lot of people spending so much time on drip campaigns as if that's going to be the cure all, right? And it's like, I know for me, when I get put on someone's drip campaign, it doesn't make me feel overly special, right? It helps me remember the person. And it makes me feel special when they reach out, because now that drip has some sort of meaning behind it. But if it's just I'm on someone's email campaign, I don't know that anybody gets disappointed at the end of the day because they didn't get enough emails that day. Like maybe like letters in the mailbox would feel that way.
Maybe.
A card, right? Card. But emails like, man, I only got 100 today. Like it's just it's kind of a bum day, right? We all get inundated with emails, and so. I love what you guys are saying, that although you embrace the high tech, you also have high touch, and that becomes the sole focus, right?
It does.
Good stuff. So kind of wrapping up, the advice you'd give to yourself is the consistency piece.
Consistency.
Right? That has, and obviously the systems you guys have put in place now has allowed you to be consistent by hiring great people. Good stuff. I love it. Let's talk about the next question, right? One that we kind of, or that I suggested, right? And I'm actually, there's actually kind of 2 questions left I want to cover, but before I get into that, in case some of you don't make it all the way to the end, I want to put something up here on the screen, which is an event that Debbie's going to be speaking at. So if by chance you are loving the advice that she's giving and you'd love to be able to spend more time with her, and you're saying like, Debbie, why don't you do more videos? You're so good at them.
Wrong era.
So May 9th, from 10 until 11:30, there's going to be an event called it's the Masters of Real Estate event, and she's going to be on a panel with Heather Robbins, Amy Savage, Terry Sprague, Joe Fustolo. Am I missing anybody?
You.
Oh,
moderating.
I'll be moderating. I won't be on the panel, but just an amazing lineup of people giving great insight like Debbie's given today. So if you're hungry for more. Again, we've got a few more questions here that we're going to offer up to Debbie, but I would encourage you to sign up for that event. You can find it on Eventbrite. If you're reading through the comments afterward, I'll put the link in there. It's going to be an awesome event. And again, I feel honored to be able to, and a little overwhelmed to only have 90 minutes with all of you. I'd like to have 90 minutes with each of you, but it's going to be a pretty exciting event for sure.
And it's a fundraiser for Youth Music Project.
Yes.
Which is a wonderful nonprofit in Westland for anybody who has musical aspirations.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's an organization that gives kind of reduced price music lessons, scholarships to help the youth get musically inclined, which I know is, I look at my own kids, and music does a lot for people, really does a lot for people. So anyway, it'll be a great cause. The ticket price is really low. like $10, I believe. So please come. I think there's seating for 130. We're moving towards every day getting closer and closer to sold out. So please register. It's going to be a fantastic event. So carrying on now back to our regularly scheduled interview questions here, right? Broadcast. In addition to this component of having like the best advice you'd give to yourself, and I'm going to have to apologize here, Debbie. I've forgotten my second question. You probably remember it better than I do. Give me a sec here. Second question was, oh yes, what is one or two things that an agent can do to offer value to their customers, right? We're living in a time and an era when customers have more choice than ever before and more power than ever before, right? Whether it be through reviews, whether it be they're just socially connected like they've never been before. At the end of the day, the consumer having the best experience is where the consumer is going to end up going. And so what is one or two items that you would recommend to agents that they should do to increase the value to their clients?
Okay. So what works for me, I can only speak to that, is knowing the market I work in forwards and backwards. So if you're doing an open house, let's say, and it's in a neighborhood and there's 5 homes for sale, go see every one of those homes. And then when that person comes through your open house and your home doesn't match that home in particular to their needs, you've got 5 others you can talk about intelligently. You can say, that one's really well priced. That one's got the floor plan you want. You're adding value to your client. And all of a sudden, well, they're not your client yet, but they'll want to be your client. So know your market and provide value on helping them do something they can't do by looking at raw data. Know the inventory. The second thing is we have so many opportunities for education in this business. And the more you can attend things like Pat Stone's economic update or just your staff meetings where you're learning something every week, and you can pass that information along to your client, you're adding value to them because they don't know the real estate market. They're trusting you to know it.
Good stuff. So interesting with this, the open house concept. Do you think that going on virtually doing similar research, does that provide the same value? You actually need to go walk through the house.
You need to walk through.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is a female thing. It's like trying on a dress. Might look great on the rack, but how does it fit? So when you walk through a home, it has a feel. It has an aura, it's just different when you walk through it. And if you can share that with your customer, you can save them a lot of time of, ruling out the dogs and looking for the good ones. So
what does your practice look like? Do you take like Tuesday tour and go do that in your area? And or on the weekends, do you spend some time just visiting open houses? Like or do you go visit vacant homes?
Vacant homes.
Okay. Because you can do it on your time.
Vacant homes are easy. So if you pop in, and of course, call the agent first, but pop in, take a look, get a feel for it. But tour is very valuable. I don't make it every week, nobody does. But if you can hit 3 or 4 homes, like even every other week, that just gives you more broad knowledge. If I'm working in a particular area that I'm not super familiar with, I will spend more time looking at homes and trying to get a feel for the market.
And I can see the value for clients who, again, are seeing very limited data based on what the agent put online, right? Or the publicly recorded data. And what you're saying is to be able to go walk through a house and really see and feel and get a feel and be thinking through the eyes of your customers, right? What do they want? That's probably the difference to some degree is your clients well enough and what really their lifestyle's like and what they're looking to accomplish. If you can do that while looking through these homes, you can start making matches, right? You feel like, I got a place for you. Or when you meet with someone, you're like, I just saw a place this past week that sounds like what you're looking for. Yep.
I had a client that was trying to force fit themselves into a house that they thought they really wanted. Fortunately, I knew about one that I just knew it would be better for them. And I took them over that wasn't even on the market yet. And they went, oh my goodness.
How did you get into it?
Almost bought that one.
It was just friends of yours, or how'd you get inside?
It was a client I'd met 2 years ago, and then they put everything on hold. And so I thought about that house for these people and called them. And they said, oh yeah, bring them over, not thinking it would be anything. And it was a perfect match. So it's just kind of that having that inventory in your head that you can try and move people towards if they're making kind of a mistake over here.
Boy, that's again, looking at the where the industry is going. Obviously, there's billions of dollars in venture capital money being invested in real estate right now to try and reduce or eliminate what a real estate agent does and gets paid. Right? We see it happening all around us. And the stuff that you're describing, Debbie, would be very difficult for a computer to write an algorithm for. Right? Where you have like specific neighborhood data that isn't even on the market, but it's just based on people that you know, homes that you've been to that were once on the market. Like you really start to set yourself as apart as a specialist that somebody would aspire to work with. And you couldn't replace that you and that your team are actively doing with pulling publicly recorded data or data from the RMLS, right? Like these tech companies are doing.
That's the goal. Be more than the data.
Yeah.
Be more than the data.
Awesome. That's such a great insight on how to add more value for your clients. Should we move on to the next question?
Sure.
Okay, so obviously we have kind of this theme of thinking bigger, pretty apparent.
That means?
That's what that means. Think bigger. It's a constant reminder of how important it is to expand your possibilities. And obviously, Debi has done some pretty impressive things in her career and is now finding success through other people by continuing to mentor the team now that she's on, that she once founded. So Debi, what does it look like, or what has it looked like for you to help yourself to continue to think bigger and think beyond maybe where you're at or the limitations that you once had?
So I love to travel.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a foreign culture, you start to see how different people think. And then you translate that into your own local tribes, so to speak, because there are tribes within your sphere of influence. I love our clientele. We have a fabulous clientele that knows a lot more than I do about things. And I just listen to what they have to say. I learn something new nearly every day from our clients.
Because you're asking questions and listening. So this travel concept, I don't know if you have an example. I'm trying to think. So you go to like visit Europe for example, and you see something there that inspires you to be able to bring value to your clients. Is that right? It just helps you to see the world.
It just opens your mind.
Yeah.
And once your mind is open, then you can learn a lot more no matter what it is you're doing.
Ah, interesting.
But Tokyo was where I was at last.
Okay.
And Japanese people, they have such a different way of handling themselves. They're polite. They don't talk on the subway because it's so crowded. They don't eat on the subway. They're just polite to each other. And it was a culture that if you have a chance, I strongly suggest you spend some time in Japan. It brought me back to America thinking, boy, if we implemented some of their behaviors, we'd be so far ahead of where we are now. That's probably not going to happen. But, that sort of idea of opening your mind to new concepts, new cultures, new ways of doing things, I just think it translates to your business as well.
Well, it's really interesting that it's almost kind of an indirect translation, right? It's not like you learned something in Tokyo specifically that you go teach your clients,
right? But
by you seeing like, boy, that's a big world out here and people do things differently. You come back and now you learn, even maybe from the same sources, you learn differently.
Right.
That's
changes your mind.
Yeah. What a powerful practice. I would imagine everybody would love to accept Debi's invitation to go visit Tokyo.
Yeah, let's go.
So maybe that's the takeaway for some of you, or to travel more, but whatever that looks like for you, expanding your possibilities through seeing other cultures and how other people do stuff. That's awesome.
And
great stuff.
On the local level, for example, the people we're going to be learning from at the event.
Yeah.
I learned things from Terry Sprague, Heather. I mean, everybody on that panel, I've learned something from. So that's the collaborative effort of working with people locally and listening to them. And what can you learn from them? So there's a little plug for the event. But
Let me put
that brings it down to reality.
Let me put it up here again, because I think hopefully we've convinced some of you to clear your schedule and make way for this event. The thing I love about the people that have been chosen is that they really do see other agents not as their competitors, but as their allies, that it's teammates, it's teamwork, and it takes that. And I think, again, the way the industry is going, it's more and more important that agents come together to see how we can collectively bring more value to the end consumer. Right?
Collaboration. Yeah, it's very important.
It's going to be such a fun event. So we hope to see you there. And Debi, thank you so much for spending some time. Just such a fan of this lady. She has just such a great reputation and has done so many great things. And again, her legacy continues on through Rick and Keisha, and I'm excited to see their future super bright, as I know Rick's a big thinker as well. So anyway, thank you again for being a big thinker, being on the show today. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.